Today marks 1747 day of daily lessons, daily reflections, and today I speak about truth and being right. And really wanting the truth or wanting to be right are not the same thing, and still opposite sometimes. And today I really want to speak and share seven reflections on that. And I would love to start by sharing that wanting truth means willing to lose an argument. While wanting to be right means I'm willing to lose one. And that's a huge difference because when you're looking for truth, it doesn't matter who wins. The winning is finding the truth. When you want to be right, the only place that you really want to be in is winning, no matter where the truth is. So number one is that truth seeks reality. Being right seeks validation. And those are different things. And it's interesting because a person who is looking for truth is asking what is true, and a person who wants to be right is can I win? That's what they ask. That means that even sometimes they will distort reality just to be right, just to validate that they're intelligent, that they know what they're talking about. And it's interesting. Sometimes is nice to really win in a argument, in discussion, in debate. But the thing that for what cost are you winning? Because when you're constantly trying to win, even though that, because I know that you, it's impossible to be 100% always right. You will make mistakes. You will make mistakes, and sometimes just really try to defend your point of view will lead to destroyed relationships. Maybe not destroyed, but really damaged relationships. Because I think as people understand that you are arguing not to find the truth, but to win the argument. And that's a huge difference. And of course, that puts a strain on relationships. Number two, truth is willing to change its mind. Being right is committed to its position. It's interesting because a person who is looking for truth is constantly said that I'm open minded. I'm able to look into where you're coming from. I'm willing to put myself in your shoes to see what you see. And it means that this person is able to really have so much more intelligence, so much more wisdom because you're able to really change your mind. You're willing to change your mind. Other person is not willing to change their mind because the only thing that they want to really to be committed is to their position. And that means that even though that sometimes new information could come in, but that information that came in into conversation didn't came in your mind, in your thoughts, in your wisdom, because you denied it. And that's a huge difference because a person who is looking for truth will accept new information. A person who wants to be right will find a way how to really defend their mind against that information. That is a huge difference. Because basically, a person who is looking to be right, they want to protect themselves because they don't want to lose neither their status, neither their power, neither their dignity or anything else. They feel that by losing this argument they will lose power, but that's not the case. People who actually show that they're able to change their mind and able to grow, they're able to really develop the wisdom. In my mind, that develops strength within them. Number three, truth examines uncomfortable evidence. Being right explains its away. And I already started to speak about it that truth examines uncomfortable evidence. So that means that new information comes in and they are willing, maybe they're skeptical, and that's a beautiful thing to be skeptical. That means that they're asking questions to validate information, like where that information coming from. It was credible information. And then when you're able to really validate, okay, this valid information is coming from credible sources. I know that I checked it. It's really good evidence. And I'm able to really say that even though it's uncomfortable to accept, but this is truth. That evidence is true. That is evidence in that argument. Because majority of things in life is that it's not just 100% right and 0% wrong. Most of them is not that. People want to see black and white, but life is not black and white. And that means that one argument that you look into, that new information came in, new evidence came in, and you have accepted it, that it's right and truthful and true. It might be that the things that you used to believe that it was 70-30, maybe now it's not 70-30, maybe it's now 60-40. So that means maybe you didn't change your mind, but now you see that other side more clearly. And now it's 60-40, that means you're closer in the middle rather than being very focused on one direction only. Because there is two options. You can really use your intelligence to really validate information, or you can use your intelligence to really deny that information, to defend yourself from information that you actually need. Number four is truth cares about the whole picture. Being right searches for ammunition. And it's interesting because, again, when the truth is looking for every aspect of the same topic, the same argument, because sometimes when you look into a person who wants to be right, they will focus on a small aspect of that because they know that they could win in small aspect of it. But when you really spread out and when you're able to really look at the bigger picture, you realize that there's so much more than just that one angle. And the person who wants to be right, sometimes will want to stay in that small aspect. It's like, oh yeah, I won in this small aspect. Rather than saying that, okay, like this small aspect, I might be right. But in all other aspects, when you really look at the bigger picture, I'm not wrong. And being able to accept that and see the whole picture. And I think that person um who really want to really dismantle other person rather than investigating, I think that's the wrong place to be in. Number five, truth can coexist with humility. Being right needs certainty. And this is an interesting thing because when you're really looking for truth, you are very humble because you accept the truth that nobody knows everything. Nobody knows everything. And when you are humble that and you really open yourself to possibility that you are wrong, at that moment you're able to really say that I'm seeking clarity of understanding. And it's a beautiful thing in that because there is clarity and certainty, clarity and certainty. And when you are certain about things, most likely you will not have a lot of clarity because certainty is achieved very short lived and it's very fast paced. So you have a small information, and the less information you have, the more certainty most likely you have. The more clarity you have, the less certainty you have. Because the clarity gives understanding that there are so many angles that you potentially need to look at. And you understand that there's no black and white, you know that there's something in the middle. And the more clarity you have, you give away that certainty, and you don't need certainty because the clarity gives you understanding that you know enough to really to execute on that. Number six is that truth prioritizes understanding. Being right prioritize winning. And this is a huge one. What is the purpose of this debate? What's the purpose of this argument? What is the purpose of this discussion? Because I have seen a lot of times when people start to feel that they are losing the debate. What do they do? What do they do? They focus on other person. They don't focus on the topic. They focus on other person. And that's again, you can start to see right away who is losing the debate is who is focusing on the topic and who is focusing on the other person or even changing the topic altogether. So oh, I'm losing this topic. I may be able to really find a topic that I could win. I don't want to lose. And again, if I'm willing to really dash or really speak whatever I can on about other person just to win an argument. And I think that's a terrible place to be in. And when you really look into when people have a really great debate, you can really tell something that people are looking to understand, looking for truth. You potentially could be harsh with your truth, but again, harsh in a way that you're able to really express your arguments about the topic itself rather than focusing on other person or even changing the topic altogether. And sometimes we're able to really ask are, do you really want to understand their perspective or do you want to dismantle their perspective? And also different things. And I think that really person who's looking for truth is looking to understand first before dismantling. Because sometimes people really but while other person is speaking, rather than understanding what other person is speaking, you are already thinking about your arguments, and that shows that you are using your mental power not to understand, but to to dismantle other person's information. And last one, number 7, is that truth is more important than your identity. Being right becomes part of your identity. And I think that one of the worst things that person could have is self-righteousness. That brings arrogance. That's, again, as I said, it puts a lot of strain on any kind of relations, business relations, intimate relations, friendships. And I think that when you are looking to, okay, the truth is more important than your identity, that means that you're able to look into what is truth in life. Because sometimes could be something could be truthful and facts, but might be wrong in your heart. And I think that it's extremely important to understand that we need to be very, very careful about being right, especially all the time. And I mean, be able to ask you how often I'm right. Maybe you're right for yourself, but not the people around you. Because the more you are right for yourself, it's very, very high chance that you're wrong for other people. Wrong for as a friend, as an intimate person, significant other. And I think this is very, very important to really admit that you make mistakes. Because when you really admit that you made a mistake and now you have more understanding about the truth, I think that other person will be much more willing to accept as well. Because when you want to be right and is become self-righteous and arrogant, other people will defend their perspective as well, and that doesn't lead anywhere. And I think that's someone needs to have that leadership role in any kind of relations. And some days could change back and forth, because you can be in one argument a leader, other person could be a leader in another argument. And when you're really a leader, you initiate of seeking truth, seeking for understand. So you are the first, you initiate that understanding of other person. And when you show that leadership, how it's done, other person will potentially could stand up and show the same leadership initiative next time as well. So I hope you reflect as well, because that's an extremely important topic. I think that do you seek to be right or do you seek to understand and find the truth in every aspect of your life? So I hope you choose to win and see you tomorrow.